All right, joining us now, she is an All-American, is currently the leading hitter in the country, an American Conference Player of the Year, spent some time with USA Softball. Of course, will go down as one of the greats, if not the greatest hitter in Wichita State softball history. At least she's the best hitter I've ever seen. There, coming from Wichita State. I speak of Sydney McKinney, joining us here on In the Circle. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing great. Tell me a little bit what you've learned about this year's team. You've lost some personnel, but you got some players back, young pitching. What have you learned so far about your team?
Yeah, there's a lot of new faces, a lot of young girls getting in the mix, maybe some people we haven't seen in previous years. So that's been a big adjustment for us, just kind of learning how to play together and gel together on the field. But I think it's starting to click. You're starting to see people that you haven't seen get those big hits, make those big plays. So it's been really cool to watch the younger ones step up and be a big part of us.
Of course, you beat North Texas recently on the road. There, you've played at Texas State. You played out west. What's it been like playing on the road as much as you have early? It's not something you're something you're used to, obviously, but still a challenging start to the schedule.
Yeah, I think after last year when we were gone for like 2 months, this doesn't seem like a lot of traveling. Um, so it's kind of crazy that we're actually back at home for 3 weeks, but travel's always hard. I mean, everybody likes to sleep in their own beds. No one likes to get on a plane and leave early, but I think we've done really well since being on the road, but just got to build on it and make the most of being home right now.
Yeah, you mentioned being home. You've got an incredible home slate. I had Coach Brett Benner on before the season. I said, "Holy macro, this is like as marquee as it gets." You got Stanford coming in, you got Nebraska coming in, you got Oklahoma coming in, just to name a few. I'm doing it injustice. What's it like as a player to see now all these marquee teams coming to your place, and that your success has kind of helped contribute to that?
Yeah, I think it's really cool because Wichita State has grown so much in the past few years. Just the fact that those teams are wanting to come midweek and get a game against us because they know it's going to be a good matchup. It's really cool. I think it speaks for what we've done here, but I'm excited. Give them a fight. We always want to get those top 25 wins, top 10 wins, top 5 wins. So it'll be fun to give them, like I said, a fight.
Let's talk about you. You're off to a great start. This sport is a sport that is mostly, most of the time, failure than success, especially as a hitter. If you hit 300, 350, you're considered a great hitter. You're still failing 7 out of 10. You're proving a lot of people wrong. The way you're hitting, you've always hit. How have you, just talk about your hitting, how you're feeling this year?
I'm feeling good. I'm taking it, one at bat at a time. Everybody keeps on telling me about the things that I'm doing, but when I'm in the box, I don't really think about that. We do a lot of scouting. We do a lot of preparation for the pitchers that we face, and that's been huge for me because I know when I was an underclassman, I did not take that stuff seriously. So now just really taking on the information that our coaches give us has been huge for me to know exactly what I'm going to expect when I get up to play.
Talk about the impact, the coaching you've gotten at Wichita State, and how they have helped you be the player that you are today.
Oh my goodness, Coach B and Coach E are awesome. I think Wichita State, compared to a lot of schools, a lot of bigger schools, you come in and you're already the best. I think when you get here, I had a lot of struggles when I got here. I wasn't the player that I am now. And our coaches just do a fantastic job of developing players and getting us to our best potential, whether it's through film, scouts, just taking those extra reps before and after practice with us. They would get up at 8 a.m. to go hit extra with anyone that they ask, and they have families. So they're just so dedicated to us, not only as players, but as people outside of the sport, that it's really nice to know that all of our staff just believe in us so much.
Let's start at the beginning then. How did you get involved, decide to start playing softball?
Yeah, so I think when I was like 4, I played T-ball for a year and then I stopped. But my older sister, Madison, she pitched at Avila University in Kansas City and she tried out for a 12U competitive team. And I basically threw the biggest little kid fit until they just like let me try out and they just let me be on the team. I never played, I just sat the bench. I think I got in a couple times, but like really didn't. I stayed in it, but I wasn't in it when I was 6. Stayed in it. Was really competitive. Was always wanting to be on the best teams. Just was gone every weekend like everyone else. But figured out that it was something that I could keep doing in high school and in college. So I really worked on it every day with my parents, and they were great. Out there, reps next to my high school. I live right next to my high school, so we're out there every day, me and my dad, and just kept on practicing, and I'm here.
Was there a softball player that you watched that was playing college that you looked up to, or you try to mirror your game under after?
Yes, Bianca Bell. I love her. She likes some of my Instagram posts sometimes, and I get really excited, but she's awesome. Always watch her. She's such a competitor, such a talented human, and now it's really cool to see her coach, and it's really cool when she likes my posts.
Still to this day, right?
Yeah.
I bet. I bet. So as you get through high school, how did you decide to end up that Wichita State was the right place for you?
Yeah, so I got recruited before there was the recruiting rule or whatever, where it's junior year. So I got recruited by Coach Pete Demore and Aaron Earlywine at Mizzou when I was about 14, 15. Missouri girl, it's an hour and a half away from my parents' house. That's kind of was the dream growing up. So right before I got there, staff change, gave it a shot. Just wasn't a good fit for me. I had a few options when I was transferring in the portal, and Wichita State was my first stop, my first visit. And as soon as I got here, I knew that I was not going to go to any of my other visits. I was done. I found my place. I signed the paper right there on Coach B's desk that day, and that's how I chose. I just love it.
What advice would you give young players about the transfer? Because you went through that. You mentioned it that was your dream. Missouri just wasn't right for you. You decided to go Wichita State. Obviously, it was the right move for you. It's worked out. What advice would you give?
I think especially in the transfer portal, you've already been to somewhere that didn't fit you. So just after that, not looking at the names that you're going to, not looking at the big campuses, the big crazy facilities. I mean, that stuff's great, and we're finally getting it, which is going to be awesome for recruiting. But just finding people and a team that fits your values, that a coaching staff that that's going to believe in you. I think that's the biggest part of it. And of course, they have to have your major, but that's not hard to find.
Well, what is your major?
I'm a criminal justice major.
Ooh. How did you get interested in that?
My dad, he used to be a cop and he was a firefighter. So I was always interested in hearing all of his stories, and went in thinking I was going to go into law enforcement, but now I want to go on the more law side. So I'm staying at Wichita State after this year to get my master's in criminal justice, and then I'm going to go to law school.
When you say you want to be in the law side, you want to be a lawyer, or what's your kind of goal there?
Yeah, the goal right now is to be a Title IX attorney.
Ooh. Title IX attorney. Why Title IX attorney?
I think just growing up and being a woman in sports, you see the disparities that you get compared to men's sports, especially Wichita State has done a lot better with our new athletic director, but we still have a long way to go. And growing up in softball, not being the most popular sport, you just see that there are things that we deserve that we don't get. And like I said, it's getting better, but we have a long way to go.
How do we get to that point where it's more fair and balanced for softball and for women's sports in general? What needs to be done, you think?
I think people like Coach B, she's going to go out and fight. It's just going to take a lot of strong women, a lot of strong men hopping on board with us, just continuing to go after it and fight for what we deserve. And Coach B and Coach E, they set a great example and are part of the reason why I want to do what I want to do.
It's really good. I really admire that. That's a tremendous. What's one thing that maybe was there one thing or two things that kind of said, you know what, I need to do something about this to help in Title IX? Was there one or two things that because I know during COVID there was a lot of conversations about it, especially with the women's basketball tournament and the bubble and some of the things they didn't have versus the men. Volleyball ran into some. Was there a couple of things that was your turning point for you? They're like, yeah, I need to go in this direction.
I think a big thing at Wichita State is that we can't host postseason with our field because it doesn't, it's not regulated. So that was the biggest thing for me. We have a great team. We go out and we show up, and we can't host conference tournament. We can't host a regional, and we deserve to do that.
Well, there's some, at least some, Coach Bredbetter told me about the stadium a little bit. Tell us a little bit, because there was some big news that came out before the season about Wichita State and the facilities.
Yeah, hopefully within the next 5-6 years, hopefully sooner. Brand new stadium at Wilkins, amazing. I mean, we were all super excited. So we thought we were going to get in trouble for some reason. We were trying to figure out what was wrong. She was like, meet after practice, and we were like, oh crap, like what do we do? We were like asking each other, and we went into the team room, and she revealed it, and it was so cool. And we're like, yes, we finally got it. I'm not going to get to see it in my time here, obviously, but proud alumni. I'm going to come back, bring my dogs, watch the games, and just enjoy us earning it, because it's really cool to see.
No, it's well deserved with the success. Now, when you got to Wichita State, now you said you weren't the player then that you were now and that you struggled. Now, I think some people on the outside might say, what are you talking about? You were all conference, I think, right on very first year. What was it like that first year or two at Wichita State?
Yeah, my success or lack of success, as I think of it, kind of was all on me. I didn't take care of my body. I wasn't doing the things outside of practice and on the weekends that I should have on my off days. I wasn't a good student, and it just really took just kind of figuring out within myself that, hey, if you want to be at this elite level, that you have all the physical abilities, you have to get your head on straight. And Coach B helped me do that. We had some hard talks, got myself in better shape, got my head on straight, like I said, and it made a huge difference.
As a team, you had some adversity. I think 2019, for example, you played in the conference tournament in Houston. You beat UCF. You're supposed to play South Florida in the semifinals. It gets washed out. The tournament gets washed out. No games are played. You don't make the tournament. This was the year after Wichita had made the tournament in 2018 and was within a game of winning a conference title. 2020, COVID hits, so the season gets shut down abruptly. Just talk to me through that. What was that like going through that as a team those 2 years?
Yeah, I think right off the bat, my freshman year, my fiance Bailey Lang was our ace. First weekend, breaks her ankle. We were looking for a back-to-back regional. We were looking for a big year, and that was just kind of a blow that I even saw. Being so young, being so dumb, I was like, oh crap, Bailey's out. We kept on battling, and I believe conference, our second baseman Kaylee Hecker broke her arm, and it was just kind of one thing after another. And then we were finally playing great conference tournament, and of course, the rain. And so it was just kind of capped off a year that was kind of a struggle. It was weird being a freshman, not seeing postseason, and then having COVID, because I never knew what it was like. So even though I had been there for 2 years, I still hadn't seen the postseason. as it was. COVID year was hard for all of us. We had a really, really hard preseason. Um, Alabama, Texas, it was just kind of same thing. It felt like the year before was kind of funneling in. So it sounds bad, but I think COVID shutting down our season that year might have been the best thing for us. Of course, COVID's awful and affected so many, but we were just not playing how Wichita State softball plays, and it worked out the next year, but might have been good that we didn't get to play.
Right, you turn turn a negative to a positive down the road, and then 2021 hits, and you have the big year. You get over the hump. You win the conference championship. What clicked for you that turned the page for the program in 21?
Yeah, 21. It was just we had the same people back. We all played really well together on the field. We trusted each other on the field. We worked really, really hard, and we knew what it took to finally get over that hump. We were tired of, the setbacks. We were tired of it. So I think just really digging in deep, finding that grit, helped us succeed that year.
You win the conference. You beat UCF in the conference championship. You win conference player of the year. This is when people start taking notice of you that year. You mentioned earlier that you didn't take care of yourself and things. When did it click for you? When did it click for you? They're like, hey, I need to do this and this. And you became the player that you are.
Honestly, I think that year is when me and my fiance started dating. She was on the team, and she's kind of for lack of a better term, hard ass. Like she's gonna, if she tells you to do something on the team, like you're gonna do it. And so just being around her, she was always doing the right things. Her class was always doing the right things. They set a great example. So really just that year I hung around them a lot, and they taught me a lot. And I just kind of figured out that if I want to hang with them and I want to play with them, I got to get my stuff together.
that's how that usually works, right? Players like Bailey Lay or
Yep.
Riley Buck was on that team. A great group.
Yep.
And then selection night comes out, and you find out you're sent to Norman to play Oklahoma, which caused a lot of controversy. Patty Gasso even was very public, felt that that was a disservice, an injustice to your team. Coach Bredbetter was public about it. What was your What was the players' reaction when you had to go to, you found out, wait a minute, we just won the conference title. We're in top 25 in some of these polls, and we're sent to the number 1 ranked team in the country?
Yeah, so when selection show happened, I was actually still eating cake because none of us were paying attention because we had done so well that we knew that we were not supposed to be in that group that got called. So I didn't even hear our names be called. I was just like, what just happened? It was honestly like a stab to the heart because we worked our butts off to not be in that position. We didn't deserve that. But after that night, we sulked on it a little bit, but we got right to work the next day like we were going up against anybody else. We got there, we came out fighting. We beat A&M twice. We gave Oklahoma a good game the first game, and that's really all we could do. We did the best we could, and it was fun. It was a fun atmosphere to play at, even though it was a tough one.
You talked about not being able to host postseason. Is that where that kind of thinking started for you? Is from that standpoint, like, man, because a lot of people felt like if you're in any, you played well. I mean, you gave Oklahoma all you can handle. I mean, you had some exciting. It was a wild regional, some games there. He was on national. People were really impressed, and I think a lot of people in the sport felt like if you're in another regional, you passed the regional into the supers. Is that where that began? Your thinking began about, this ain't fair. We should, in other sports like, basketball, for example, they don't have to deal with a 400-mile radius. Why are we not treated like a national sport that we are? Is that where that began? Your thinking began?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when you hit postseason, like I said, being at home is an advantage. And when we hit postseason, we know we're on the road. So it kind of sucks in that aspect, but working on it.
2022, you had another great year. You become an All-American. What was that like when you found out that you became an All-American?
Oh, I was so excited because me and my dad, we work every single day, like I said, when I was little, and that was a goal for me since I was little tiny and figured out I could learn how to play. And it just speaks for the success of the team. You know, if you're not a good team, you're not going to have all Americans come out of you. No matter how good you are as an individual player. So it was cool to see the team get recognized in that way and kind of put us on the map more. And it was really cool feeling when I saw that.
You didn't win Conference Player of the Year. This player, Addison. Oh wait, that's your teammate. Uh, what's it been like
Yeah.
playing with her? And you, because you two have been linked now to some extent, because you both have gotten a lot of national attention. From her success and your success and the team's success. What's it been like being with her?
Oh my goodness. Playing with Addie is awesome. You know, it feels like we're always in sync. We being that she's an All-American too, and she is on that national level, just really being able to confide in each other about the stressors, the pressure that comes with it, the success that comes with it. It's really nice to be able to share that with somebody that's so close to me. And then, you know, last summer we got to play internationally together. We got to play, I don't know, it's just really fun. It's really fun to have like your sister there with you all the time.
What's one aspect of her game that you admire the most? That you like, man, I wish I had that part of that game in my game.
I wish I had Addie B's forearms. Her forearms are freaking massive, and she just smokes the ball. And I feel like I mean, it's great. Her technique's great. Her forearms launch that ball over the fence.
It's shown. I mean, she has power and speed. That's the thing. Like she's like a
Yeah.
30 machine there basically if she wanted to. 'Cause who knows what's the ceiling for her?
Um, there's none. She's doing great. She's excited. She's exciting to watch. She's gonna go as far as she wants, and it's really cool to game. It's really cool because she'll hit a home run and then she'll run out an infield singles or she'll drop a bunt. I mean, you can't really. It's hard to play defense against her, especially in practice, because she's gonna run and she's gonna hit the ball far.
That's tremendous. Obviously, 2022, you had another great season. Had an incredible regular season finale battle with UCF in Wichita in front of a packed house in Wichita. UCF found a way to win the conference. What was it like though to have that support from the crowd? Because I think it was one of the first. Obviously, you've played Oklahoma; it's been sold out. But to have a weekend series like that had so much at stake and have that support and building that fan base for softball. Everybody outside remembers Wichita State as a basketball school and the support they get. But I feel like in baseball, obviously with the history, but I feel now over the last handful of years, people have now know Wichita State is a softball school now as well with the support. What has that been like to have that grow?
Yeah, that Friday night UCF game was the most fun game that I've ever played in. Sold out. Everyone's families were there. All the alumni were there. All the little teams from Wichita were there. It was just amazing to see how excited they were for us. The game was electric. The whole place was electric. People stormed the field when we won. Like it felt like the World Series, honestly. And it was just because we are all having so much fun. And I think that seeing that we're going to have a lot more of those games has been really cool because, like you said, in years past, it hasn't been that way. And now we're seeing social media posts, Wichita State's a softball school. It's really speaks to what we have created here, what Coach B has created here, because we're really integrated with the fan base and we love seeing them. They love seeing us. So it's really cool atmosphere here.
I had Georgina Cork on the show last year, and she said that she followed you, admired you, and obviously Jada Cody at UCF, because the three of you, the three schools have had, back and forth. It's kind of turned into a little bit of a trifecta rivalry, if you will, with each of you trying to take turns winning the conference championship. But yet she said, yes, it's super competitive when we play each other. but she supported all of you as far as when you were playing elsewhere because you brought respect to the American Conference. Just expand on that and the three schools, because all three of you have kind of represented the conference and really represented each other as that quote non-power five here during this run.
Yeah, Georgina's awesome. I mean, we've been friends on and off the field since I've gotten here. I respect her wholeheartedly. She is a great competitor, and I knew every time that I got into the box against her, I was going to have a fight. But it's really cool. Like you said, off the field, it didn't, as long as we weren't playing them, she was supporting me every step of the way. Talked to her after every game. Same thing with Jada. Got to play with her on Team USA this year, so that was really cool. But like you said, supporting each other in conference has been huge because there are big names that come out of this conference, and we compete on a national level, and we have the top competition, the top players in the nation. So it's really cool to support each other, and because we know where we come from, we know it, and just fighting for the American and fighting to like you said, put our name and our conference on the map has been cool.
Is it going to be weird when you play South Florida and Corrick's not in the circle, or are you relieved after so many years that she's finally not pitching against you?
I had her 4 years in a row, and I'm relieved. I love her. I was tired of it. I knew after the first year, I was like, man, I have her for 3 more years, and they're like, yeah. So I'm done with it. I'm sure I'll see her professionally, but I was tired of it. We're done.
I think you represent every hitter in the league. Yeah, let her go have success with Great Britain in the pros. Yeah, we've had enough, right? It's just unbelievable. You mentioned you played with Jada this year with the U.S. national team. First of all, when you found out that you were going to be on the U.S. national team, what was your reaction?
Oh my goodness! So I was actually in Canada, playing in the Canadian Cup. We had just beat Team USA for the second time. They got us the third time. But I mean, I was just so proud of our team for coming together and accomplishing such a tall task. It was just, we were having the time of our lives where we enjoyed each other. It was one of the most fun teams that I played with. But right after that, I got the news, talked to Team USA about it, and called probably every coach that I've ever had in my whole life, along with my parents, along with Bailey. So it was just a really special moment. I mean, getting to represent your country is something that I've always dreamed of, and it finally happened, and it just felt really good.
For those that may not be aware, you were part of like an all-star team, right? That played at the Canada Cup. Kind of expand on that, because the people are like, wait, you played Team USA? Just expand on that experience in the Canada Cup.
Yeah, so I played on TC Colorado. We were a team of just college athletes and former college athletes. Aubrey Leach was on our team. So I think she might have been the only one not in college. Mia Davidson, Hannah Gamble, Addie was on the team. Yeah, just a really good group. We got chosen to go play in the Canadian Cup. Dave King put the team together. He's Triple Crown. So yeah, we just went out there. We had never played together before besides me and Addie, so it was fun to go out there and kind of compete and turn some heads.
What was that experience like being in Canada? I remember Aaliyah White was on that team a couple years back, and she told me it was a great experience and learned a lot from it. What was it like for you?
Yeah, it's really eye-opening. Just playing teams from across the world, just seeing the different ways that softball is played gives you a different respect for the game. You have to be on your toes all the time because it's not the traditional play. They're gonna do that little slash hit. They're gonna run differently. They're gonna call different things. Their pitchers throw different things. I mean, it's a brand new experience, and I'm really glad that mine was such a positive one, being that it was my first international experience.
You mentioned with Team USA, you go to Japan for the All-Star Series. What was that experience like being in Japan, a place that loves softball and has always supported softball?
Oh my goodness. It was the coolest thing ever. We played at the Olympic venue. We played at one of their professional baseball stadiums. There was 13 to 15,000 people. I mean, you're like a celebrity there. They don't even know who you are. So it was really cool. Um, just I got to learn a lot from Coach Char. I got to learn a lot from everybody on the team. I mean, Ali Carter was on that team. She taught me a lot just because she was the only one on the team that had really been there. She stayed and played in the professional league after that. But just the respect for the sport there is really awesome to see. And they show out for softball. They love it. It's just like every other big sport in the country. And I wish it would translate. It's starting to translate in the United States, but seeing that many people at a game like that was awesome.
You've got to play with Jada Cody. What was that like? Somebody you've competed against with high stakes over the years, and now she's your teammate. What was that like getting to know her?
Yeah, it was really cool getting to share our experiences. Of course, we had to talk about the conference tournament that well, our last conference series. That was fun for her, I'm sure. But yeah, we have a high level of respect for each other, and it was cool to see her perspective from playing the same game, and I know she had as much fun as we did that weekend, especially with the crowd, and yeah, just a lot of respect for her.
Y'all won like a home run derby, right? She helped win the home run derby against them.
Oh yes, there was a home run derby. She did help. She hit. I'm not sure how many she hit, but it was like back and forth from like one USA player would go get a couple chances, and Japan would go get a couple chances. It was cool.
Would you ever do a home run derby and excel, or is that something that doesn't interest you? Because I've heard great hitters like Ichiro, for example, was never a power hitter, but he would do great in batting practice at home run derby just for fun. Is that something you would be able to do, or you're not interested in that because that would mess up your swing?
I don't think it would mess up a base hits. But in batting practice, like there's days that I'll go out and I'll just swing as hard as I can just to see how far it'll go, which is fun. But I'm just not a home run derby type of gal.
That's fair. All right, that's fair. Obviously you saw UCF last year make the super regionals. When you saw that, is that something that motivates this team and says, "Hey, we could be UCF. We can make it to a super regional. We're just as good as they are." That's a blueprint. Is that something that crossed your mind as you watched them make the super regionals?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with like you said, us, UCF, USF, we're always making regionals. But they were the first one to kind of push past that. And like you said, really good roadmap for something that we know we can achieve. We just gotta get out there and do it.
What has your family meant to you as far as your success is concerned? I see some of them sometimes posting on social media, but what have they meant to you?
Yeah, my family's awesome. Same with Bailey's family. They've been here since day one, obviously. My dad, he was my coach in high school. He pushed me to be the best that I could. As long as I was wanting to practice, he was going out there with me, no matter what time of the day it was, no matter how long he worked that day. So that was really cool. Like I said, he was my coach. My mom, she'll do anything for anyone. She'll go work her job, go straight from her job to a 4, 5, 6 hour drive just to come see us play. My little sister, she plays at a community college, so they're kind of juggling that right now, trying to figure out which games to go to. My older sister, softball, she graduated, was a pitcher at Avila. My little brother Ryder, he is so funny. I'm not his favorite player. He has autism, and he is just the funniest kid I have ever been around. He's gonna tell you if you look good in your outfit, if you don't, if you had a good day, if you didn't. Like, he's just so straight up, which is fun because you know exactly what you're gonna get with him. But my mom's side of the family, they're all from a super small town that I grew up in, Norburn. So they have watch parties of me all the time. They travel sometimes to the games, but big party in Norburn when I play on the weekends. It's fun for them. Bailey Bailey's side of the family is awesome. They come to the games too. They're from South Dakota, so even though she doesn't play anymore, they still make their way down the 7-hour drive to come see me play. So huge support system, and it's just been really awesome to see them just continue to support me. I mean, I'm 22, and they've been supporting me since I was 6 years old, so it's awesome.
It is pretty good. Always great to always have that support. You mentioned earlier about obviously getting your master's and going into law, but there's professional softball leagues out there. There's obviously the WPF. There's Athletes Unlimited. There's the international game as well. Do you expect to continue to play after your this season's done at Wichita State? Is that still the goal to continue to play?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everybody that I've talked to that are adults, they're like, law school can wait. Big girl job can wait. And I totally don't want to get a job yet. I want to keep playing for as long as I can. I'm excited to see where I end up this summer, but yeah, I'm gonna keep playing.
I know it's far away, and there's still uncertainty whether softball returns to the Olympics in 2028 for Los Angeles. People are trying to make that happen. Do you allow yourself to even dream about that? Is that something that you even would consider, or is that too far away?
It's pretty far away, but I'll be 27. As long as my body is able, I'm gonna dream it, and you know, I'm gonna keep working hard for it, and especially continuing to play after this. I'll know where I'm at, and just getting it in the Olympics is going to be huge. So if it's in it, I want to be a part of it.
Well, the good news is you got more immediate things to worry to focus on, like this year's team. What's going to be the goal or the keys for this year's Wichita State team to accomplish your internal goals?
The key is going to be like it typically is. Our pitchers just got to keep working hard. I think they've done a great job so far this season, but just continue to working on their spots, working on their spins, using defense in the best way that they can. I think they've done, like I said, a great job hitting. I think just not trying to do too much with it. We're a big hitting team, and we know we can hit it. So I think just getting that through the heads of the younger ones, just knowing that they are very good and that they are good enough to be on this stage, and just really believing that because they know that I believe in them. They know that the coaching staff believes in them. So just building that confidence more, and like I said, playing together more because there are so many new faces, just really building that trust.
Well, and I think speak for a lot of softball fans that appreciate what you do on the field, and I really do appreciate what you do off the field. And I know you're active on social media and in some of the topics even we've talked about today, and trying to help not just softball but help women athletics as a whole. I really do admire that. Thank you so much for taking the time. I know it's a busy time with getting ready for games and also obviously classes and all what you're juggling there. But you've always been awesome, the representation of Wichita State. So I wanted to have you on the show and get the word out. So thank you for being able to talk to us, and I'm sure we'll cross paths here during the season.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. It was great talking to you.